Good morning to all of you. It is an absolute riot to be here today, dragging you away from your coffee breaks to talk about something that might sound a bit dry, but I promise it is anything but. We are diving into the world of a tiny, mighty hero called Ferrum Phos, or as we affectionately call him, Ferrum Phos Bio. Think of him as the Batman of your bloodstream, but instead of a cap, he wears a little oxygen mask. Now, introduction. Set the stage with a light-hearted touch. Now, when I say homeopathy, some of you might picture tiny sugar pills and whispers of like cures like, and you would not be wrong. But today we are zooming in on a special forces unit within that world. The tissue salts are biochemic remedies. This brilliant idea came from a rather clever gentleman named Dr. Wilhelm Heinrich Schussler in the 19th century. Dr. Schussler, bless his scientific heart, figured out that our bodies are basically fancy chemical factories, and if one of our 12 essential mineral salts goes missing or gets a little wonky, things go south faster than a politician's approval rating. As they say, a chain is only as strong as the weakest link, and sometimes that weakest link is a microscopic mineral having a bad day. Our job to give up a pep talk on a little top up. And among these 12 cellular superstars, Ferrum Phos is not just a player, he is the team captain. We call him the oxygen carrier because he is basically the delivery driver for life itself. And my personal favorite, the first remedy. This is not just a fancy title, folks. This little guy is the immediate response unit for inflammation. You know, when your body decides to throw a surprise party and the main guest is redness, heat, and pain, Ferrum Phos is one who shows up with a fire extinguisher and says, "Party is over, folks." So, what is in this magic potion, you ask? Well, it is a dynamic duo, iron and phosphate. Let us break down why this combo is more powerful than a double espresso on a Monday morning. Iron, iron, the stuff of superheroes and spinach apparently. Its main gig is forming hemoglobin, which is like tiny Uber driver inside your red capsules, your red blood cells, ferrying oxygen from your lungs to every nook and cranny of your body. Without enough iron, Your cells are basically holding their breath, turning blue and complaining about being tired. It is like trying to run a marathon on an empty tank. You just can't do it. As the old proverb wisely says, without iron, even strongest will falter. Or, as I like to say, a body without enough iron is like a phone without 1% battery, utterly useless. Phosphate. Then we have phosphate. Now, phosphate might sound like something you would find in a science lab, but it is unsung hero of energy production. It is literally part of your body's current energy currency. It is part of your body's energy currency. ATP. Think of it as the secret of ingredient in your brain. Moments. Your muscle, let us do this. Moments and keeping everything balanced. So, Ferrum Phos is not about oxygen. It is about giving yourself the fuel and the stability that need to rock and roll. Now, Dr. Chusler, being the clever chap he was, pinpointed Ferrum Phos as the go-to guy for the very, very first stage of all inflammations. This is before things get messy, before leaky faucet stage, definitely before the oh dear is that first stage. It is for those moments when your body is just starting to grumble. Something not right here. You know, when this stub your toe and it turns a lovely shade of angry red, but has not yet started to look like a small balloon. That is Ferrum Phos time. It is about being proactive because, as Ben Franklin famously said, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Or, in this case, a tiny dose of Ferrum Phos is worth avoiding a much bigger headache later. How much does it work its magic? It is like a tiny personal trainer for your blood vessels, especially those superfine capillaries. It strengthens their walls and makes sure oxygen is delivered efficiently. This prevents blood from pooling like forgotten puddle and stops that initial oh moment from turning into a full-blown oh no. It is all about keeping the traffic flowing smoothly into your internal highway system. Let us explore where our little Ferrum Phos superhero really shines. Fevers. Hey, fevers. The body is the way of saying warning. Internal temperature rising. When a fever pops up suddenly like an uninvited guest, and you can't quite figure out why. Maybe a flushed face, bright eyes, a pulse doing the cha cha, and a bit of restlessness. Ferrum Phos steps in. It is for that initial "ooh, I feel warm" stage. It helps your body hit the reset button on its thermostat, getting that blood circulating and oxygen flowing. Remembering what Hippocrates said, the natural healing force within each one of us is the greatest force in getting well. Ferrum Phos just gives that natural force a little high five. Painful conditions. Beyond fevers, Ferrum Phos is surprisingly versatile pain reliever. Think sharp, stitching, throbbing, or burning pains that get worse with motion. Throbbing and burning pains that get worse with motion. It is like your body saying, "Don't move me, I am delicate." This could be a headache that feels like a tiny drummer inside your skull, or earache just starting to make its presence known, or that scratchy throat before it feels like sandpaper. It is also great for those I worked out too hard yesterday, muscle aches and stiffness. It helps clear out the ooze. I overdid it by products and gets blood flowing. As they say, early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. And a little Ferrum Phos for those early eggs helps too. Respiratory conditions. For colds, coughs, and even beginnings of bronchitis, Ferrum Phos is your secret weapon. You know that little tickle of your throat that whispers a cold is coming, or a dry, annoying cough that sounds like a rusty gate. That is Ferrum Phos territory. That sounds that is Ferrum Phos territory. It helps to prevent that initial irritation from turning into a full-blown mucus fest. It is for that dry, painful, hackling cough, especially if it is worse at night or when you move, almost like your lungs are complaining about being disturbed. Anemia and debility. Given its iron component, it is no surprise that Ferrum Phos is a friend to those battling anemia or just feeling generally run down. Now, let us be clear. It is not a magic bullet for severe iron deficiency, but it is like a friendly coach helping your body better absorb and use the iron you do have. It supports your body's own red blood cell factory. So, if you are feeling a little pale, low on energy, or just generally may because your cells are not getting enough oxygen, Ferrum Phos can offer gentle boost. As the ancient wisdom says, health is wealth, and A good supply of oxygenated blood is like having a bulging bank account for your well-being. Circulatory issues. And finally, for those moments when your circulation feels a bit off, maybe your heart's doing a little jig, your face flushes easily, or you get a sudden nosebleed with bright red blood. Ferrum Phos can lend a hand. It is like a traffic cop for your capillaries, ensuring smooth flow. It is for that general fatigue and weakness when your tissues are just crying out for more oxygen. It helps your body get back to feeling like well-oiled engine, not rusty bicycle. In the world of tissue salts, we usually use low potencies like 6x and 12x. Think of it as a gentle nudge, not a sledgehammer. These tiny doses are believed to be easily absorbed by your cells. No drama, no fuss. For acute tissues, you might take it more frequently until you feel better. Now, Ferrum Phos is generally as safe as kitten, especially in this form if you have something serious or chronic brewing. Please, for the love of all that is healthy, consult a Homeo medical practitioner. They are the real detectives figuring out the root cause and tailoring the perfect remedy. As the old saying goes, to every ailment under the sun there is a remedy, or there is none. And finding your remedy sometimes needs a professional guide, not just a Google search. So, to have, so to wrap this up with Bro and Flourish, Ferrum Phos Bio is truly a fundamental star in the biochemical universe. The dynamic duo of iron and phosphate makes it indispensable for your cells to breathe, your blood to carry life, and your entire circulatory system to and hum along happily. Its role as the first aid hero for the early inflammation and fever, combined with its wide range of uses for pain, respiratory, sniffles, and general I need a boost moments, makes it a gentle yet incredibly powerful tool in helping your body help itself. After all, health is not value till sickness comes, and remedies like Ferrum Phos are also here to remind us just how precious that well-being truly is. So, let us give the round of applause to our unsung hero Ferrum Phos. Now, finally, I will tell you the dosage how I use in my practice. Just one or two tablets, just keep it below the tongue. Allow it to dissolve in saliva, don't bite. The dosage may be 3 or 4 times daily, no problem. But in very acute cases like fever, etc., I used to give even frequent dosages, that is, once in 20 minutes or half an hour. Then the fever vanishes. It is a miracle of miracles. This is my practical experience with homeopathy and especially biosalve. Thank you all. I wish you to and I request you to just forward this link, YouTube link to everybody, to all your friends, relatives, etc. Make them subscribe to this link. Thank you.